Finally, ladies and gentlemen, after a long time, it feels like the Washington Commanders are set to hit the field on Sunday in week 3 against the Las Vegas Raiders. And I had to go out and get one of the best coveraging guys that talks about the Las Vegas Raiders on YouTube to go behind enemy lines. So here joining me in a few seconds is my guy Raider from Raider D Podcast. Let's get straight to it.
Shout out to Juan Gotti Talking Sports. You know what it is.
Shout out Juan Gotti Talking Sports.
The way that we live is not for everybody.
Nah, that ain't it, y'all.
How do you think the rest of Jaden Daniels' career is going to go? If we're, 6, 7 games into Jaden Daniels' career and he's already milking injuries? Like,
stop saying my name, you dick riding bastard. I love the way she move it, shake it on me. When she cry for him, the shawty is the winner. You can tell that shawty's no beginner. She's confident.
Time to go behind enemy lines. What's going on, my guy? How you doing?
I'm doing better than I deserve, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. And as I said behind stage, I appreciate you for coming on and doing this, because this is definitely a interesting game to discuss. Because I mean, I think for both sides, we could speak on it. Like, I thought I would be feeling more positive about my team headed into this matchup, and I'm sure after that Monday night game, you will be saying the same.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping Jaden Daniels is able to play in this game, because I would love to see Max Crosby, supplant him on the ground a few times. But the reason I say that is purely because I was super jelly that you guys got him and not the Raiders. I probably in the off season last year, I probably made, I don't know, 15 videos about Jaden Daniels. Like, everybody was telling me from the Raiders community that Jaden Daniels, he's overblown, he's not going to be good, this and that and everything else. LSU quarterbacks are never good. Just look at Jamarcus Russell, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. And it's like, dude, this kid is nothing like Jamarcus Russell. This kid is special. He is going to be special in the NFL. He is going to blow the doors off the NFL. Mark my words. And sure enough, he came in the NFL and he exceeded expectations of most people, but he met my expectations because I knew he was going to be good. So I know he's got an injury right now, and he's like, I think they're still saying that it's day to day, it's a game time decision to see if he'll play. But I hope he plays, because I like good competition. I don't want to face your backup quarterback and get an easy win, because that's exactly what would happen.
It's funny.
I mean, we'll still win, but I would rather it be a good game than just an easy one.
It's funny you say that, because before I even backtrack to Jaden Daniels, we have your old friend that's possibly starting, and maybe he got a little bit of revenge on his mind. But it's
Mariota.
It's funny that you think it's.
Come on, man. That dude has never been good.
Oh man,
he wasn't good in Miami. He wasn't good with us. That's why he never became a starter. He was just a backup. He's been a backup his whole career. He's never been good. I said that when he was coming out of college. This dude is way overblown. He's not going to be good. Not in the NFL. He was really good in college, but there are certain players that have that it factor, right? When you look at what Mariota did at Oregon, it was because of the system. If you look at what Jaden Daniels did, it's because Jaden Daniels is Jaden Daniels, right? So there's just this major difference there between them. So I'm not worried about Mariota, just to make sure that we can hopefully stay in the race of the AFC West. It would be nice to face Mariota, because like I said, he'll probably throw 3 interceptions.
I don't know if you're getting that version of Mariota that you're speaking of. And the reason I say that is because he's not thrusted into that long period of starting role. One game, you telling me he can't handle one game? He did it twice last year. And granted, it was
he can't handle our pass rush. Now, our secondary is suspect. I'll give you that. Our secondary,
your secondary is food. You have a guy by the name of Caillou Blue Kelly starting in the nickel. He didn't even make our practice squad. That's for one.
That's true. But he's actually probably the best one we have out there as far as corners go. He's been doing really good. But I think like our linebacking core and our safeties right now, like it's just not gelling completely right now. Palamao, like he plays really good sometimes, and then like last week he just got burnt all over the field, which was ridiculous. But our pass rush is crazy, relentless. We have what is it, 7 sacks on the season or 6 sacks on the season already in 2 games. Like I think we went like half the season last year before we got 6 sacks.
Wow.
So that's how
crazy.
much our line is, our defensive line is really improved. One, Max Crosby's healthy, and he's just, he's Max Crosby, right? So he's just gonna wreck stuff everywhere he goes. But then we've got this kid, Laulu, who is, he has 3 sacks on the season already. He's already tied for top sacks in defensive linemen in the NFL. Right. And so he's come out of nowhere and he is looking unstoppable 2 weeks in a row. This dude just looks like there's not a guard or a center in the NFL that can stop this dude. And he was against all pros. So, and then Malcolm Kuntz is back to being healthy and he's getting a lot of pressures. He hasn't gotten a sack yet, but he's gotten close several times. Plus, like, oh my God, I don't know if you watched the game last week, but the refereeing on that game was absolutely horrendous. I watched Kuntz get clotheslined, literally put in rear naked chokes like it's MMA 3 or 4 times, no call, right in front of the referee. Like I expect that with Max Crosby, that happens a lot with him because people can't stop him. But you're talking about Malcolm Kuntz and you're doing that, at least throw a flag. Like that poor guy, pretty bad. But I think it's going to be a good game. I think our defensive line is gonna be really good, and it just depends. If Jaden's in there, I think it'll be a better game. If it's Mariota, I think it'll be. I'm not going to say it's going to be a walk in the park because it's the NFL, but I think it definitely favors the Raiders in that game if it's Mariota versus Jaden Daniels. There's just, I mean, you're talking about grapes versus oranges there. Like it's not even close to the same quarterback. Jaden just causes problems, man. He causes problems.
I find it very, very ironic because it's like for week 1, and I get it's the Giants, a different team, but the week 1, their selling point to beat us was their defensive line, right? And we know how good their defensive line was on paper. And here it's kind of the same thing with you alls and you talking about how good your defensive line is, but I really think you're I'm not gonna say underappreciating, but underlooking Marcus Mariota. Again, like I'm not telling you he's just this godly, and you know him better than me, but I'm not telling you he's anything special. But the 2 times that he had to come in last year for Jaden Daniels, they were both games in which we won. One was we won 40-7. So this offense is not going to look drastically different. Obviously, Jaden Daniels provides you with much more threat of his legs at the age that he's at, and just overall better. I'll give you that, but I'm not gonna say don't be confident because that is a crazy take because anything can happen. But
yeah, of course. I mean, the dude could come out and he could throw 7 touchdowns and no interceptions and 500 yards. It's the NFL. Anything could happen. But I watched Mariota in college. I watched him in the NFL, and he got you guys a couple of dubs, which was great. Last year, you guys were rolling. You were on fire. The whole team was just amped up. I think it's another year, and he's a year older at his age. That really does play a big factor. Like, we could bring Tom Brady back right now, and I bet he wouldn't beat a single team in the NFL at his age right now. He can still throw the football, but I mean, he can't move anymore. Not like he used to be able to. Not that he was super athletic, but I mean, he just doesn't have the arm strength. He doesn't have the durability. He doesn't have the stamina. And so the age factor is one. And then, like I said, I've watched Mariota when he gets pressured, he makes a lot of mistakes.
Right.
If he's not pressured, he's not that bad. But the problem has always been with him under pressures, he's not that great. So I think he'll make some mistakes. If it is him, I think he'll make some mistakes. And he'll try to make up with it with his legs, but he doesn't have the speed that he used to. So it's going to get him into some trouble because we got some quick guys. Malcolm Kuntz is super fast for a defensive end. He can run you down. Max Crosby can run you down. I mean, we just, and then on the interior, we just got dudes that just move the pile. The other thing too, though, is it's not just the quarterback. Why I say the defensive line. After 2 weeks, the Raiders' run defense is, I think, top 5 in the NFL right now. Nobody can run on the Raiders. Like our interior defensive linemen they're just too good at stopping the run, whether it's Tyree Wilson, whether it's Adam Butler, whether it's Laulu. All three of those dudes, doesn't matter which one's in the rotation. They are just really good at stopping the run. So your guys are going to have to rely on throwing that ball. Now that's where you could get us if we don't get pressure. Then we are susceptible. I mean, I'm a realist. I'm not. I watch this stuff and I analyze it not just as a fan, but as a sports fan as well. And yeah, our secondary is definitely not top of the line right now. I mean, I was really upset that we let Jacorian Bennett go because last year he was a starting caliber corner and we let him go for Thomas Booker, who is not even a starter right now. Right. So that kind of made me mad the Raiders did that. However, let me just caveat all of that with this. On the offensive side of the ball, I think the Raiders this week learned from last week, especially with some of the things that Ashton Genty has said. You're going to see a heavy dose of Ashton Genty this week. I really think that Ashton's probably going to get above 20 carries, probably between 20 to 25 carries. And that's going to control the ball because the other thing is, like, I don't know if you've seen the press conference with Coach Pete Carroll. He was mad that Chip Kelly kept throwing the deep ball so many times, and then we ended up with 3 interceptions, ended up losing the game. I mean, we were in position to come back. That game was nowhere at all out of control. In fact, one of the interceptions, if we had just thrown an incompletion, we would have kicked a field goal and we're just 1 score away. Now we're not having to, like, oh God, we have to, throw the ball 30 yards every down now, right? So I think that the Raiders are going to come out with a strong run game, which then is going to allow Geno Smith to do what Geno Smith is really good at, which is those short to intermediate accurate passes that he's known for. And then we just keep those drives alive and then feed the ball to Ashton. So it's going to be up to your guys' defensive line to see if they're able to stop Ashton Genty, because the problem with Ashton Genty is if you can stop him in the backfield with a defensive tackle, he's done, right? We've seen that in the first 2 weeks of the NFL. He's just not big enough and strong enough to get off of a defensive tackle. But if he gets past that line, he's picking up chunk yards, 8 yards, 9 yards, 12 yards, 15 yards. He could break one at any moment. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what your guys' defensive line is going to look like against our offensive line. We're still waiting to see if Jackson Powers Johnson is going to come back. And that's going to be another thing that's going to probably dictate this game is your defensive line versus our offensive line. If our offensive line can run block, you guys are in trouble because Ashton Genty is going to get fed the ball and he's going to have a breakout game. If our offensive line can't run block, then I think you guys might get the victory then. Because I can almost guarantee that's the game plan going forward. It's going to be feed Ashton Genty over and over and over again.
I think that's a fair assessment in terms of, one, giving your number 6 overall pick the ball. I mean, I hate that he had to come to the media and put on this extra, attention on that. But sometimes that's what you have to do to get things rolling. But I kind of feel like we're similar in that sense of being able to have 2 really good run defenses. Now, through the first 2 weeks of the season, we've been able to stop the Giants' run game really. In week 2, we were able to contain Josh Jacobs much. So
I'll give you credit on Josh Jacobs, but the Giants,
Tyrone Tracy
suck.
Nah, I know, but that was gonna be my next point for you as well. When you talk about,
a junior high football team could beat the Giants right now.
Well, I think they should have beat Dallas, but hey, anyways, like I think we're kind of in that same boat for me, at least looking on the outside, looking in. Like the Patriots week 1, Antonio Gibson, Travion Henderson, Ramondre Stevenson. That's a solid bunch that you went up against, but is there anybody that's really groundbreaking, that's like, oh my God, like we shut him down. Or if it's the Chargers, it's Omarion Hampton, a young fella trying to figure it out. So I think it'll be a good test for both sides, especially us, because our rookie back, Ja'Cory Crosby-Murray, aka Bill, he's a guy that has snuck up on a lot of people, and he'll be getting a lot more touches now that Austin Eckler's out due to the torn Achilles. So he's a guy that I would watch out for if I were you. He's been a guy that has taken our camp and preseason and even week 1. He won Offensive Rookie of the Week, Pepsi Zero Offensive Rookie of the Week. So he's been coming in and taking the lead by storm. But for you all, it's much more important for us because that's your guy. And this is a true test for how good our run defense has been with Javon Kinlaw being added, obviously, Deron Payne we're having, and other guys as well chipping in. It's going to be a true test. If we can slow down Ashton Jeanty, I think I feel really good about our run defense, because I'm not going to say our first 2 showings are fake. And like yours, I'm not going to say it's not legit. But as the season goes on and you face better running backs and better offensive lines, you're going to truly see how good this defensive line is for both squads. So I think it is important to see, because both sides will try to establish the run. That's one thing. I don't know if you checked out the Thursday night game, but that's one thing that we didn't do. We did not try to establish the run whatsoever. So I can definitely see this being a game, especially if Jaden Daniels does not play, that both sides do try to establish some type of running game. Now, I will ask you this about your offense, because I know you're highly in favor of your defense, but offensively, how do you plan on moving the ball outside of the run game? Because Geno Smith, I know he had 3 interceptions, and on the outside looking in for us, it's like, oh my God, Geno had 3 interceptions. He first play of the game, pick. But I know you kind of feel like, hey, maybe if we did something here differently, that probably wouldn't have alluded into an interception. How confident are you in Geno in this offense?
I'm very confident. I think the offensive line held up well in pass protection. They did not do as well in run blocking, but pass pro, they did okay. I think there's some adjustments that need to happen on the offensive line. JPJ needs to go back to being a center. Jordan Meredith is not strong enough to be a center in the NFL. On run blocking, he just gets pushed all the way around. My boy, Raider Ryan, what is up, brother? Salute. So for me, I think it all comes down to the offensive line. They need to make some adjustments there, and we don't know if JPJ is going to be back from his concussion or not. I'm leaning more towards not, due to the fact that it happened in a practice late in the week. And typically with that type of a concussion, they have to sit out for 2 weeks. So he's probably going to miss this game. So we're going to be stuck with Jordan Meredith no matter what. Okay, fine. But I'm very confident in Geno Smith. Geno Smith has only had that type of a game 4 times in his 11-year career now, right? That is a type of game that you just shrug off. He's a pro. He's not even going to think about that. And a lot of that had to do with Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly called the plays, and he was forcing it from behind and all this stuff. And like Coach Carroll told, you just got to settle down. We don't need to go deep every single pass. Get what the defense gives us, take it, and just keep the ball moving, because he's a very accurate quarterback. And the thing about Geno is he doesn't panic under pressure. This dude will still deliver the ball, even though he knows he's going to get hit right in the face. He'll still deliver it. So I think that in the past, I would be super worried, right? With Gardner Minshew going into this, I'd be like, yeah, we're probably going to lose. If it's Aiden O'Connell, yeah, maybe we'll win, but we'll probably lose. We haven't really had a quarterback since Derek Carr, and Derek Carr was hit and miss. And so I think Geno Smith is an upgrade over the quarterbacks that we've had. I think he's going to be just fine. I think the other problem that we had last week too, that a lot of people have overlooked, is Brock Bowers played, but he was not 100%. He was out there hobbling, and it kind of made me mad that they had him out there when he clearly wasn't 100. Because why? For what reason? Michael Mayer's a really good tight end. He's a great receiving tight end. He's not Brock Bowers. He plays more of a Gronkowski style of a tight end, more traditional, big body, strong dude, great blocker, good hands, all of that. He's not like a wide receiver tight end like Brock is. But they had Brock out there, and he didn't have the speed, he didn't have the zip, he didn't have the cut, and it's because he's favoring that knee, doesn't want to injure it. So they shouldn't have played him. They should have just let him sit out the game. And I think if we would have done that, and featured Michael Mayer the entire game, I think we probably would have been in a better situation. A lot of things to learn from, new coaching staff, new pretty much everybody in the building is new. So I think they'll get it together. But as far as confidence in Geno and that offense, look, man, we have one dude who's 6'5" who runs a 4.3, and we have one dude who's 5'10" who runs a 4.3. And so you have two speed demons on the outside. Then you have Jacoby Myers who catches everything you throw to him. And then you have Brock Bowers once he's fully healthy. Michael Mayer. I mean, we've got legitimate weapons, right? And then it just depends on, can Ashton Genty be what we want him to be as a number 6 overall pick? Because that was a huge gamble, right? Because this dude was electrifying in college, but sometimes that doesn't pan out to the NFL. The one thing is that Ashton Genty right now, if you go back and you look at it, people are like, oh, he's only averaging 2.7 yards per carry over 2 games. That's worse than the NFL. First of all, that is a very bad statistic, because you've got to go and look at his yards after catch. He's top 5 in the NFL, and he's top 3 out of guys who carried over 30 times in a game per game, right? So yards after catch, yards after contact. So he's top 5 in both of those categories right now, past the line of scrimmage. And that's what I was saying. If your defensive line can stop him in the backfield, he's not big enough, strong enough to get out of that. If he sees it coming, he can move and evade it. But if those big guys get their hands on him, he's coming down. We've seen that. But once he gets past the line of scrimmage, this dude's like, he's going to truck over people. He's going to spin move people. He looks like, a Madden game out there. So yeah, I got confidence, and a lot more than I did last year. Better offensive coordinator. I'm sure Chip Kelly's going to put together a better game plan this week and kind of play to our strengths. It's another away game for us. We'll see if we can get the mojo back that we had in New England and go handle some business. I was thinking before we started this, I was like, man, this is going to be an interesting podcast, because we have one guy who supports a team who can't figure out what their name is, and you have another guy whose team can't figure out where they want to live.
Man, and that's funny because now we're moving back to where we belong to. So it's a lot of change. And your city, Las Vegas, is now getting the baseball team. So it's just kind of like just ripping Oakland.
I'm from Oakland, California, too. So it broke my heart when they left. I don't even live in Oakland anymore, so I understand I had to leave Oakland too because the economy sucked. But it's not the same. It is not the same at all. Well, I've been to the stadium in Vegas and that stuff, and been to practices and stuff, and like I don't even want to go to a game there. I hate Vegas, the city. I cannot stand going to Vegas. I just had to take my wife to the airport a couple weeks ago to Vegas. And I just don't like it, man. I hate it.
Yeah, Oakland is one of the most profound, fan bases in the NFL's history. The black hole, that's epic. So it's like
even LA, man. Like it was LA was a bit different, but it was still Cali, right? So even us Bay Area kids, like we hated that they went to LA and there's some rivalry between the Bay and the LA and all that. I never really cared about that. As long as they stayed in California, I understood they moved because the city of the Oakland City Council has always been terrible. But then they came back and it's like, okay, cool. We kind of get that feel back. And then they went to Vegas and I was like, are you kidding me? Of all the places you could go, you're going to Las Vegas? Like, it's a tourist town, man. It's not even a real city.
Right. It's not a sports city. I think that's kind of like how Miami fans feel. Like, it's not Miami's not a true sports city. Like, it's not no legit passionate fans about. Maybe the Hurricanes when they're good, but like other than that, people are there for other things, and sports isn't even on their mind. So I definitely understand that aspect of things, but I'm not surprised at the confidence level that Raiders fans possess. But offensively, I do think that's where you all are challenged. Now, you talked about the speed that you guys possess. Obviously Jacoby Myers being damn good. And I've always said, like, maybe I didn't give him enough credit for his time in New England because he's always been, really good. And then when he got with you guys, he just kind of blossomed into this on borderline number one guy. And then you go out and draft the guy from Tennessee who you spoke of very, very fast and made a great play on Monday night as well. So offensively, I do think you guys have some solid pieces, none bigger than Brock Bowers though. So I'm like, God, like, look, I'll tell you something, just honestly. Tucker Kraft went for $1 and some change on us. If there was a guy on your offense that I think can get off and borderline carry you to a victory, it would be Brock Bowers because that guy is a handful. And if it wasn't for Jaden Daniels, he probably would have run Offensive Rookie of the Year last year. Honestly.
Yeah, I would say that it depends if he's fully healthy. We still don't know the extent of the injury to his knee because they're saying it's just a bruise. Okay, then why did he have the stabilizer brace on? Like a bruise, you have a pad on, right? So that kind of made me a little bit suspect right there. And then he just wasn't able to move as he normally does. So if he's healthy, look, here's the thing. If Geno Smith is on target, just like he was with the New England game, he threw 70% pass completion. 346 yards, a couple TDs. Okay, if he can bring that to Washington, and Brock Bowers is healthy, and Ashton Genty can finally get off, yeah, you guys are in trouble. Because just those three there, if he completes 70%, and here's the other thing, like everybody wants to concentrate on Brock Bowers because he's a superstar, but Geno Smith threw to 8 different receivers in the New England game, and I think 7 in last week's game. So focus on the superstar all you want. Geno Smith will just throw it to Jacoby Myers. He'll throw it to Trey Tucker. He'll throw it to Michael Mayer. He'll just spread the ball all around on you. So he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks because he's not a superstar. He's not a Jaden Daniels. He's not, the little frog dude over in KC. I won't even say his name. He's not those guys, right? He doesn't get all the limelight. He doesn't get all that, but he is typically very efficient. And that's why I said last week's game, shrug it off. He's only had 4 of those games in his entire very long career. So it just depends. Like if he comes hitting on all cylinders and Brock is healthy, you guys are definitely going to have your hands full on that defense. Now I'll give you guys this. I think your secondary is better than ours. Yeah, and that's one thing. Like I wasn't expecting San Diego's secondary to play as good as they did. Like they played really good ball. Very sound, very disciplined, like except for the one stupid penalty that should have been called a penalty that wasn't. But other than that, like they played really good ball. So if you guys do that, you got a shot.
That's a very, very good secondary though. I think they were like second in pass defense last year, something along the lines like Taheep Steele, Cam Hart, and Jesse Minter is going to be a head coach in about a year or two. Like he is that good of a play caller in LA. And with us, that's what I was going to bring up. Our secondary had a major improvement. We have a rookie cornerback who we feel can be our cornerback 1 in Trey Amos from Ole Miss out of the SEC. Been damn good to start the year. Marshawn Lattimore been up and down, obviously, but he's older. He's still really good. And obviously, Mikey Sanders still in the slot. He's really good. That's what I was going to tell you. Like, I mean, and you already kind of know, like, this secondary is a problem. And if we're able to get some pressure on the quarterback, and I know Geno isn't a complete stature, but he's not known for his athletic ability at this point of his career. If you're able to get semi-pressure on Geno, and you may be able to force him into some mistakes. I know you talk about how good he is under pressure.
Did you not see last week's game?
I did.
He had like 5 or 6 pressures where he ran out of it. He was running circles around people. Don't get it twisted. He might be what's he gonna be 32 now? He might be 32, but that dude still got some legs under him. You know what the thing about him is he's not like Jaden Daniels fast. I don't think there's any quarterback in the NFL Jaden Daniels fast, right? But the thing about Geno that I really like about him versus our previous quarterbacks is he does have excellent pocket awareness for most of the game, right? So when he feels that pressure coming, he moves into the right position 9 times out of 10. Now, if the complete complete offensive line just completely breaks down or something like that, then yeah, he's going to get sacked. And he took some sacks, and he will take some sacks. The problem, though, with him is why he takes some sacks is he's always trying to make the big play. So he'll hold on to the ball for too long rather than just checking it down and getting rid of it. And this is one thing that even Coach Carroll said that, he's got to do a better job of that. He's got to just take what the defense gives you, check it down, get rid of the ball. Don't take a sack. But we'll see. We'll see if your defense can do it. I'm not super confident in my offensive line right now. That's kind of the problem that we have. Colt Miller, Pro Bowler, left tackle. Second year DJ Glaze is showing that he might be a Pro Bowler. We'll see. It's only been 2 games, but he has had 2 very good games where I don't think he's even given up a pressure, if I'm right on that, in 2 games. But Dylan Parham, Jordan Meredith, Alex Kappa is terrible. So that's our problem. The interior part of our line is super suspect right now.
Yeah.
Especially without DJ.
And that's the best part of our defensive line. Deron Payne, known beast. Javon Kinlaw is having a monster year thus far, who we went out in free agency and signed from San Francisco. So that probably would be the biggest concern. Again, no quarterback. You can talk about how good he is, being able to evade. And obviously, yes, Geno isn't just a complete statue, but we know football. No quarterback loves interior pressure. Anybody can escape if it's pass rush coming from out here. You can step up, slide up, evade. If it's coming right at you, you're going to panic, and that's where the issues are going to lie. So I think that has to be the game plan if we want to slow down this Raiders offense. And I think Geno is going to be in for a couple turnovers or 2. Because something that I think that I want to ask if you were taking into consideration, first of all, you played on Monday night. We have not played since Thursday. So I think we have that advantage in that department, but also you're traveling across the country. I don't know if the time difference or whatever may have you can affect you or anything like that, but that's something to take into consideration as well. So if your team comes out slightly sluggish, a little bit, slow.
You know what? I mean, for me, as a Raiders fan, I hate when we have long weeks. And I don't know if it's just the Raiders, because the Raiders have been bad for 20 years. But every time it seems like, oh, yeah, we've got like 13 days of rest and we're going to go out there. We're going to be all rested up. And then the team comes out and plays like utter garbage for the first half. Whereas when we have short weeks, for some reason, we come out and we blow out teams like the 2 years ago against San Diego. That was a short week for the Raiders. Came out and blew them out, put up 63 points on them. I was like, whoa. Right. So I don't know. Typically you would think the team that has the most rest is going to come out better because they have more rest. But I don't know, man. As far as the Raiders go, as long as I've been watching the Raiders, every time we have the longer rest, we lose, and we lose bad. And when we have short weeks, we win. So for me, it's not a factor. I'm not worried about that just because the history shows that the Raiders do better when we have short weeks. And it's weird because it doesn't matter. This is we've had 3,000 coaches in the past 20 years. So it doesn't matter who the coach is. Short week, Raiders win. Long week, Raiders lose. Doesn't matter. Quarterback different, teams different. It's I don't know what it is. Something to do with the Raiders. And I don't know if that's with other teams, but definitely something with us. So I'm not worried about that. I think that, again, it really comes down to one thing. like I know you guys got a good interior defensive line, but so did San Diego, and so did the Patriots. But in pass pro, our offensive line did fine. They're not top 10. They're probably ranked around 15th or something. But they did enough to be able to give Geno enough time to be able to throw the ball. My question is run protection or run blocking. That's where we suck. Like, we cannot open a hole to save our lives because all of our interior offensive line is built for speed, right? And we went through two different things. We went from power blocking to zone blocking, and like there was a mix of different guys in there, guys who are better at power blocking, guys who are better at zone blocking. Our guys are better at zone blocking and pass protection. And so they're not, they don't have to be as strong because they don't have to push you forward. They just have to keep you from getting off of them. So they just have to be faster than you. And they are quick. Jordan Meredith is quick. Dylan Parham, for his, I wouldn't say he's like elite quick, but he's decent fast. And then JPJ is just all over the place when he's playing at right guard. The problem has been in order to effectively open up holes, you've got to be able to move people off of their spot. And Jordan Meredith is not strong enough to do that. Dylan Parham has proven he's not strong enough to do that. I think what the Raiders need to do is we need to bring in our rotational right tackle, Caleb Rogers, and make him the right guard and move JPJ back to center. If they do that, and you could probably move Jordan Meredith over to left guard because I don't like Jordan or Dylan Parham. I don't think he's good either. There's a play from last week that was so embarrassing where Dylan Parham literally is standing right in front of the linebacker. The linebacker is going to blitz. He's showing blitz. And instead of Dylan Parham keeping his gap integrity, he goes over, puts his hand on Jordan Meredith, turns his body away from the linebacker, and just stands there. He's not even blocking anybody. He's like blocking our own player. And the linebacker ran straight in and got an easy sack on Geno. So that's kind of where my issue with that is. I think we'll be able to hold up against your pass rush. I just don't know if we'll be able to do anything on run blocking, and that's what scares me about this game because we've got to get Ashton Genty going, and you have to have the trenches. And a lot of people gave criticism to the Raiders because of that. It's okay. You're gonna spend a number 6 overall draft pick on a running back, but you haven't drafted an offensive lineman since Colton Miller, like a real one, right? JPJ in the second round last year, I think, was a steal. I think he was a first-round draft pick guy, but there was the concussion history with him in Oregon, and that's why people shied away from him. And, now the Raiders are dealing with that. But, I mean, the Raiders haven't gone out and really spent some money and drafts to really, like, solidify that offensive line in a long time. And so that's the criticism. You're going to go get a running back, but if nobody can open up a hole for him, it doesn't matter who it is. I mean, he could be Barry Sanders, and he's still not going to be able to get any yards if you have defensive linemen and defensive ends in the backfield as soon as he touches the ball. It's just not going to work. So we'll see. It's going to be an interesting game. I think it's going to be a statement game for both teams. Like, you guys are going up against a supposed to be elite running back coming out of college. And can you shut him down? And for us, it's can we get him going? And that's really, I think that's really going to tell the tale because like your running backs, your running game, your passing game, like it's not really going to depend like ours is. Like, especially if you got Jaden out there. If you got Jaden, he's a superstar. He's gonna do his thing. But for us, our superstar is supposed to be, a 5'10", 205-pound running back. And if he can't get going, it's gonna be tough for the Raiders.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it is a statement game for both teams in terms of this. For us, what you saw on Thursday night against Green Bay, that's not us, right? That is not who we are. That is not the kind of mentality we play with. We that's not who we expected to be in this season. Hats off to Green Bay, hell of a team, Super Bowl contending team for sure. But I think if you let the Washington Commanders get a full week, and this is no excuse, but we suck at short weeks. Like short week turnarounds. Two of Jaden Daniels' worst games is on short weeks. Thursday against the Packers, and last year Thursday night against the Eagles. A full week of preparation and locked in for Cliff Kingsbury and his offense is different. That's why I think it's a statement game for us, and I feel bad for the Raiders because they're in the way of that. But it's business. We have to come out here and we have to establish our home field, something that we worked so hard to get back for years now. Raider fans and away team fans would dominate our home field because no one cared anymore because we were tired of supporting losers. Now we're supposed to be good. This is a way to go out there and show it, assert your dominance that you supposed to have. I think offensively, through the air is where we can get you, as you mentioned, but I almost don't want that because, again, that puts our quarterback in a position to where he has to throw 50-plus times a game, and I know we have a Jaden Daniels that is capable of doing that, but you've seen how that looked last week when the ball was in his hand constantly with this makeshift offensive line. This offensive line, Josh Conley Jr. versus Max Crosby, yeah, good night. If that's one-on-one, like how they had Micah Parsons versus Josh Conley Jr., you're asking for it again. So that scares me by a million, right? We know how good Max Crosby is, for sure. Offensive line-wise, I think we're better than what most people see, and we obviously don't have our best right guard and our best offensive lineman, one of the best in the game, and Sam Cosmi back yet. But offensive line on paper is much better than what it was in the past. I think if we're able to get back to playing our game, be quick, RPOs, and I think we should go up tempo. Keep the Raiders on their heels for most of the part. At least establish that early on, right? Don't allow them to make certain changes and adapt to you, and allow them to stay in this game. If you do that, that's a Max Crosby strip sack waiting to happen. You know what I mean? So I think offensively, this team is going to be much better. Whether it's Jaden or Marcus Mariota, I think it's not going to be much of a difference. I feel like we need this game. If we go down 1-2 or this early, oh man, this fan base is already losing their mind after one loss. We go down 1-2.
Same thing with the Raiders. Same thing. I mean, we're in the same boat, right? Like you guys were bad for a long time, but then you got Jaden and you make the playoffs. Right. So now everybody's like, oh, we're going to win the Super Bowl this year. Jaden Daniels, we're the Chiefs now. Right. So we're just going to dominate everybody. And then the reality sets in. The same thing happened to the Houston Texans. Right. They get their rookie quarterback. They go to the playoffs. Oh, they're a Super Bowl team. No, they're not yet. I mean, they might be at some point, but it does take time. Like, how long did it take for Peyton Manning to win his first Super Bowl? How long did it take for, Tom Brady to really become Tom Brady, right? I mean, he came pretty quick, but still, like, it does take time. So those losses are going to happen, and you can't, get all down. But the same thing is with the Raiders fans, and I see it in the comments, like, see, I told you so, we suck, or we're back. I even made a video of like, yeah, the Raiders are back to being the way they were, right? Just messing around and playing with it. But the Raiders are definitely a different team this year. And our first home opener, man, we lose that. And for the first time, I think in Vegas's history, we had a big majority of silver and black shirts versus the away team's jerseys in that stadium. Right. That's been a big problem with the Raiders because, again, it's a transient city. It doesn't have an internal fan base that is connected to this team. So everybody has to come from somewhere else in order to go watch the game. And then they're so ridiculously expensive. So a lot of people can't even afford it. And so you get a lot of away team people that come there on vacation to come see their team. But we finally had that. Like, everybody's amped up, juiced up after beating the Patriots like that. And then we just throw a big old goose egg. And now everybody's like, oh, yeah, we suck. It's over. We'll be lucky to win 4 games. Pete Carroll's going to be fired by the end of the year. Like, all of it's all over again, man. In any given Sunday, even if the Raiders lose this week or you guys lose this week, your season is not over by a long shot, right? It's a long season.
I definitely agree with you to that, but I ain't gonna lie. I'm looking at that Chargers team. If they win Sunday, they play the Broncos. They're 3-0. That's basically 6-0. To start your season off with 3 division wins, that kind of puts them up here, and the rest of the division just looking up. And I think this is the best supporting cast Justin Herbert has had in his career, and I think that's a dangerous team. So I'm not gonna say your season is over, because obviously wild card plays a factor. But
yeah, I've been saying that I don't think the Raiders win the division. I think we get a wild card slot.
Yeah, definitely. I think
because the division is just too good, and I don't think that the Raiders. I think the Raiders have a better shot at winning the division next year than they do this year. Next year, because we'll hopefully address that offensive line interior a lot better. It'll be third year of JPJ. Cole Miller still be on the team. Third year for DJ Glaze, who's becoming a star right tackle. And then hopefully we can address the guard position better and move JPJ back to a center position, which is where he's going to be a superstar if they would just leave him there and stop playing around with him and moving him here. Like last year, he's right guard. No, he's left guard. No, he's center. No, he's back to left guard. Like, make up your freaking mind already. This dude is a star center. Leave him at center. Don't mess with something that's not broken. So, yeah, I think that at the same time, I know Justin Herbert. Yeah, they came out hot, but they beat the Raiders. They got the dub. I give it to them. I'm not taking anything away from them. But they didn't beat the Raiders. The Raiders beat the Raiders in that game. We were given golden opportunity after golden opportunity after golden opportunity, and we beat ourselves in that game. And then a little bit of help from the referees. But I think that if the Raiders had played a better game plan, that game was 50-50. The Raiders win, Chargers win. I don't think it would have been the way that it was. I don't believe in Justin Herbert. Well, I could be proven wrong, but I think watch what happens next week. He chokes when it's pressure time. That's why he can't win a playoff game. And now he's got all this pressure of leading the division, going 3-0 in the division. Watch him choke next week and then Denver pull out a victory on him.
That's very regular season Herbert is different, man. I get the lack of playoff success, but man, they look like a complete team. Now, losing Khalil Mack is going to be huge, but you know better than any of us. But this team, in my opinion, I mean, I watch everybody. And my favorite team is the Commanders, but in my opinion, if you're looking at this squad on paper and how they performed through the first 2 weeks, they have minimum weaknesses, right? Like Quentin Johnston is coming around for them. They were literally getting ready. They were coming at him with pitchforks and knives, ready to cut him loose. So we'll see. Denver's a definitely good team, and they're pissed off after that loss. I know you were cheesing ear to ear for that one. Snap infraction.
I never want to root for the Donkos ever. But I will be secretly, quietly, internally rooting for them to beat the Chargers, just because I don't want the Chargers to go 3-0. But again, it's the problem with the AFC West division is there are some divisions like, the AFC South where, they're just not that good. And like with the AFC West, it's a long rivalry between all of the teams. And you just can't never tell. Like the Chiefs for the past several years, yeah, you kind of figured that they were going to win their games. One, because the referees help them every way that they can, because, you got to build a dynasty. It's good for the NFL. That's why we had the Patriots, and now, it was the Chiefs, but I think the NFL is looking for a new dynasty after the Chiefs lost that Super Bowl. And so I think they've lost favoritism. They're not getting the help that they used to get from the referees. We all know it. If you watch football, and it's not just because I hate the Chiefs, but you just watch it. They used to do the same thing with the Patriots. It was ridiculous. But that aside, the AFC West is just one of those divisions where you think on paper, okay, this team is so much better, and then they go play each other and they play like they're literally trying to kill each other. Like they just play so much harder than they do against other teams sometimes. And you don't know. Like the Chargers could go in there hot, feeling like they've got it all together, and Denver comes out and puts up 40 on them. You know?
Definitely. So we've talked about our teams. We talked a little bit about the division and whatnot. Before we get to our final predictions and stuff like that and get out of here, I kind of want to address that low-hanging fruit that every fan seems to bring up. It's comparing Jaden Daniels to CJ Stroud and comparing the Texans' success year one to our success. It's a different situation. As you see, no shot to CJ Stroud. I still think he's really good. But you see the reality of their situation now. Now, obviously, they're out Tank Dell and whatnot, missing some weapons. But this is now year 3 for CJ Stroud, and things still look pretty similar in the aspect of he's still having success. Last year, they went to the playoffs. Last year, they won their division. Now, as you mentioned, the AFC South isn't something to be glamorous about, right? But you still got to win it, and he's done that, and he's still had quite a bit of success. And the reality is CJ Stroud has a limit. His success was capped out. Jaden Daniels is completely different because he's a dual threat kind of guy. So I think the things we have around Jaden Daniels and the kind of coaching staff that we have, it's deep. It's not just Dan Quinn. It's not just Cliff Kingsbury. We're talking about positional coaches in Tavita Pritchard. Anthony Lynn, a former head coach, is on our staff as a positional coach, right? Like this coaching staff that supports him is just different. And everything that we're building is just completely different. Now, I hope you get a taste of that on Sunday. But if it's Marcus, it's Marcus. And the confidence level has not shifted for us at all. We need this one bad. And we think we're just, honestly speaking, we're the better team. With Jaden Daniels, we were the 6.5 favorites. Kind of bumped down to 3.5. And obviously, home field plays a factor and whatnot. But 3.5 now with Marcus Mariota last time I checked. But we just feel like we're the better team. And I know you probably feel that as well for your squad. So we'll waste no more time, and we'll get to your couple keys to victory if you have them, and we'll get to your final score prediction, and we'll get out of here.
I'll say this: if Jaden plays, it'll be, in my opinion, a much tougher game for the Raiders because I have been saying it before he got drafted. I watched him play in college, and I was screaming to the rooftops that the Raiders should sell the entire farmhouse, the dog, the sheep, everybody, whatever it takes. You get that draft pick, and you go and you grab Jaden Daniels. This dude is going to be a superstar. He reminds me of a better Michael Vick, and that's saying something because Michael Vick at his prime was unstoppable when he was in Atlanta before he went to prison. That dude was unstoppable. But I think Jaden is a better pure passer. So he has all the athleticism of a Michael Vick in his prime, but he's a better pure passer than Michael Vick was in his prime. The problem with Mike back then is he relied too heavily on his athleticism, where Jaden is always looking downfield to throw the ball, and he's pretty darn good at doing that. So all respects to Jaden Daniels, man. I hope that when his contract negotiations come up with you guys in a couple of years, there's, I don't know, some major controversy or something. Somebody in the staff calls him a racial slur or something, and he hates the team and he wants to leave and he comes to the Raiders. I don't think that'll happen, but
No, sir.
I think if somebody did do that and caused him to run away, they probably wouldn't make it out of DC. But I'll say this. I think if it's Mariota, just from my experience with him, I know he won you guys a couple of games. He even helped the Raiders win some games here and there. But with Mariota, you never know what you're going to get with him. So you might get that guy who can help you put up 40 points, or you might get the other Mariota that's going to throw 4 interceptions. You just don't know with him. So I'm always hopeful that we're going to get the other one. We're going to get the one that's going to throw 4 interceptions and make a bunch of mistakes. I think if that's the case, I think the Raiders get the victory. and we walk off, I think it is going to come a lot down to the Raiders have to establish the run, and you've got to get Ashton Genty the ball more. If the Raiders do that, and he's able to do what he was able to do last week, remember he had 4.1 yards per carry. That's enough. That's top tier, right? And he was, breaking off first down runs over and over again, and then we pull him out of the game and put in Zamir White, who is not a good running back. He's okay, but he's not good. So I think my prediction is 20 to 25 carries for Ashton Genty, 100 plus yards on the game, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 1 touchdown from Ashton or from Geno Smith through the air, 21 to say 10 for the Washington Commanders. That's my guess. I'm not a prediction guy, but that'd be my guess.
21 to 10 for the Commanders. Man, oh man, I feel bad for what you're gonna have to sit down for on Sunday, because you're gonna be surprised. I'll say that. And look, Mariota
depending at the end of the game, you're gonna get a text message from me. It's either gonna have a smiley face or it's gonna have a crying face. We'll see what happens.
You know what's crazy? Someone in the comments said, because week 1, I brought the Giants fan back on after we won because he was talking big trash. Someone said I have to bring you back on post game for when we play. So I don't know if we'll set that up. But I'm a man of my word. Whether we win or lose, I show my face. You know what I mean? So maybe we'll set that up at some point potentially. But I think it'll be a good game. I do. I think this team is ready. Like we're locked in. We're focused. We're chomping at the bit. We haven't played since Thursday. Imagine having to sit in a loss, embarrassing loss like that for 4 extra days. Like we're ready. And I think your Raiders team is in for a rude awakening, but I'm sure you feel that same way. So I'm going to say, I think we're in for an explosion. I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to be modest. I'm going to say 28-17. Washington gets the victory. And Marcus Mariota, your good friend, if he plays, is going to, have a little bit of revenge on his mind. But
don't forget though, Max Crosby knows Marcus real well. He knows all his tendencies. Knows which way he likes to run.
Yeah. Hey, look, Marcus. Look. We already know Max Crosby's in for 2 to 3 sacks. You can book it. That dude is different. That dude is an animal.
What you better hope is that that's it, because we got a young stud named Laulu who looks like, he's a Polynesian cat. When he sacks somebody, he looks like he's getting ready to dig a fire pit and do some cooking, right? Mm-hmm. So you better hope that it's just Max, because I'm telling you right now, this defensive line, the way that they are playing, is scary. Like, people don't understand yet. We'll see if it continues. It's a long season. We'll see if it continues. But if the Raiders continue to get 3 and 4 sacks every single game, that's tough for teams to deal with, because that also means that you're getting a ton of pressures, right? Mm-hmm. If you're getting that many sacks, you're getting a ton of pressures, and that's what the Raiders are doing right now. They're getting a ton of pressures and they're getting a ton of sacks. So I think either way, it's going to be a really good game, because you got 2 young teams. Obviously, we have a veteran quarterback. You might have a veteran quarterback too playing.
Our team is the oldest in the league, by the way. So contrary to popular belief, we're old as hell.
Well, but you got some young receivers. You got some.
Yeah, for sure. Jaden is young, so it kind of, I get what you're saying, but no, I've only made that mention because we're banged up, and a lot of people are clowning us because we have the oldest roster, as if that means anything. But yeah,
it does. It does play a factor in the longevity. I don't think it plays as big a factor this early in the season, but I think once you get later in the season, those injuries do tend to start piling up the older your team is. So, but like I told you before we started, man, I'm happy to go on podcasts of opposing teams as long as they're not in the AFC West. I will never do a Chargers game, a Chiefs fan, or a Broncos fan, because I literally I get disgusted talking to those people. But nothing but love and respect, rivalry respect for the Washington Commanders. for you guys, man. I think you got a pretty special team over there, pretty special coaching staff, and just I as a football fan, I look forward to seeing Jaden Daniels' career blossom and being proven right, because you would not believe the hate in the comments that I got saying that this dude is going to be special. So it's nice to see that at least I got one thing right in my life.
Yeah, definitely. And best of luck to your Raiders. Besides week 3. But for the
no, I'm taking it. It. You didn't say it fast enough.
I was trying to let the suspense build up, but for the people out there that are watching on my end, let everyone know where they can find all your work and everything that you do covering the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, so I actually own a media company, so we have a lot of stuff. We have the Raiders podcast, and then we have a political podcast called the Daily Rumble. You can check us out on if you like politics and news and you want to stay up to date with that, check us out on TikTok, Daily Rumble or Kaleidoclip News. Same thing on Instagram, Daily Rumble, daily_rumble over there. And then if you want to watch football stuff about the Raiders, it's the Raider D podcast on YouTube only. Pretty much, I only post on Raiders on YouTube.
All righty, y'all. You all do yourselves a favor and check out this Raiders content creator, especially after we win. Go ahead, leave some comments for him because he was very confident covered it.
We'll see.
But
I like the youthful optimism you have.
No, for sure. I gotta stay optimistic about this squad. It's my whole life we've been trash. I've never had optimism, so it feels good to finally have some.
Yeah, for sure.
But that being said, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. As always, been your boy Juan Gotti. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out. Hey.
Never gave a ballin' like I'm Deshaun, throw the bomb, G. That's IG, my jersey never seen a lawn.